Hello and welcome to Gibology, a channel dedicated to biology or the study of life. We are looking at the tongue series, where in this video we will be diving into the amazing world of the tongue muscles. So these are tiny but powerful structures which make speaking, chewing and swallowing possible. The tongue is made up of two groups of muscles, extrinsic muscles and intrinsic muscles. Each of these muscles are again of four different types. So the extrinsic muscles originate outside the tongue and then they get inserted into the tongue. So extrinsic comes from the word external, and they are of four types: genioglossus, hyoglossus, styloglossus and palatoglossus. While the intrinsic muscles are inside, which is within the tongue, and they are again of four types: superior longitudinal, inferior longitudinal, transverse and vertical. In this video, we will look at each of these muscles in details. So let's start with the extrinsic muscles first. So like I said, the extrinsic muscles are called so because they originate outside the tongue, but they insert into it. Their job is to move the tongue around, so protrude it, retract it, elevate it or depress it. There are four types, and then there is a fun mnemonic which you can use to remember them. I call it Some Girls Have Parties, where S stands for styloglossus, G for genioglossus, H for hyoglossus and P for palatoglossus. Now let's look at each muscle one by one. Firstly, the styloglossus. It originates from the styloid process of the temporal bone. Most of these muscles are also named from the part with which it is attached to. So styloglossus is from styloid process of the temporal bone. It helps to retract the tongue and elevate its sides. So it's important during swallowing. Next is the genioglossus, which arises from the mandible or the lower jaw. It mainly protrudes the tongue, meaning it helps you stick your tongue out, and it also helps prevent the tongue from falling backward, keeping your airway open. Third is hyoglossus, which comes from the hyoid bone and then it inserts into the sides of the tongue. So it functions to depress and flatten the tongue, which is crucial for you to move the food around while chewing. And then lastly is the palatoglossus, which arises from the palatine aponeurosis of the soft palate and inserts into the sides of the tongue. So it elevates the bone of the tongue, assisting in swallowing and speech. So most of the extrinsic muscles of the tongue are supplied by hypoglossal nerve, which is the cranial nerve 12. There is only one exception to this rule, which is the palatoglossus, which is supplied by vagus nerve or the cranial nerve 10. So hope until this it's clear. Now that we understand how the tongue moves around, let's move a little deeper into the intrinsic muscles of the tongue. With no external attachments, their main role is not to move the tongue from place to place, but to change its shape, like make it longer, shorter, curled, flattened or rounded. So these are again of four types. The superior longitudinal muscle, which runs along the top of the tongue, it helps the tip, it elevates the tip and shortens the tongue. Inferior longitudinal muscle running along the underside. So when we call something superior is when it is on the top, inferior when it is below. So that's why the superior longitudinal muscle runs on the top of the tongue and the inferior longitudinal muscle runs below. And then this inferior longitudinal muscle pulls the tip downwards and then shortens the tongue as well. Transverse muscles. These run side to side across the tongue. So it helps to narrow and elongate the tongue, and you can think of making the tongue more pointed. No? Then vertical muscle runs from top to bottom. So it helps to flatten and widen the tongue. So all intrinsic muscles of the tongue are also supplied by hypoglossal nerve, which is cranial nerve 12. So to wrap it up, extrinsic muscles move the tongue in different directions. Intrinsic muscles modify the tongue shape. And then the key mnemonic to remember is Some Girls Have Party for styloglossus, genioglossus, hyoglossus and palatoglossus. I think that's it for today. So thank you for joining me. Keep practicing. I'll see you in the next time. So if you like the video, if you find it useful and simple to understand, simple to make notes, then please do like, share and subscribe to the channel.